Don't spin the block, sis.
Okay. I'm here for it.
Spin the block, sis.
Don't do it. So we're gonna cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's get into it. All right. Should have mine right behind my head, but I didn't. Okay. So this episode we're going to talk about relationships and dating. I do have quite a lot of talking points.
Okay.
But we're just going to, bounce around the subject. Where do I want to start? Maybe we could start with communication. So like I'll say for me, with dating and relationships and communication, it's always been one-sided. So I'm always the one that has to like pull the teeth and like in order for me to have a conversation with that person, which resulted in relationships ending because it just feels like, why am I the only one giving my point of view in it? And that's just hard. It's hard for me, especially because also I'm a person, I know I'm quiet, I don't say much, but I would like for you to hear your point of view and how you feel about the relationship. I think communication plays such a big role in where you're going to go, even if it's ending it or just
to hear what they're thinking.
Just to hear what they're thinking. And I didn't get a lot of that. So
yeah, I find myself now working on communication. I am a big communicator, but in previous relationships, the communication was more like text messaging. So my most recent situation, relationship, whatever you want to call it, I found myself having to verbally communicate. And that's something that I've always struggled with. And not only verbally communicating, but your tone.
Yes.
Did you laugh at me, friend?
Watch that tone.
It's the tone, and then also just taking the time to be mindful of how you say things, right? Yeah. And with the newer person, he didn't cause the aggression, right? Or like the rah-rah or the attitude, or for me to have to communicate cursing you out per se in my former life, y'all. Full disclaimer. What a time, right? But I've always been able to communicate, but I think this time it challenged me to communicate how I actually felt.
Yeah.
Because, Jordan, I'm sure you can relate, right? We're two Libras. I can sweep things under the rug and be like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Give too many chances. Yeah.
Give too many chances, but also I'm not a confrontational person either.
Very much.
And then I would always compromise. Now it's like, no, I don't like this, or you said this. And having that safe space where the person is like receptive to what you're saying,
right?
Like, that's key.
Yeah. And it's a big part because there's people who, just like you said, can communicate over text message. And my mom has always said, no, did he call you? I'm like, no, he didn't call me. He just texted you? Yeah. Okay. I was like, I didn't think there was a problem with that, but it's like, I guess verbal communication, it's a big part in establishing a relationship, whether it's friendship or more.
Yeah. How is it in marriage?
Yeah, I think it really just depends on you, your spouse, and what you guys need, like what works for you. Because we text a lot, during the day, or he'll ask me every day, like, how did I sleep? Because he's already at work. And how's your day going? Did you have breakfast? So he's texting me, trying to keep the community channels open. I get so busy and so distracted and he does too, with work, or trying to get Weston ready to go to daycare. I'm like, dang, I didn't even text him, right? And sometimes I'll just random text like, hey, what you doing? But we're big on like talking like on the phone during lunch, having, communication, having our time to sit and talk at home. So I guess it really just depends. I could see where too much texting, but we're a couple years in. So yeah, the texting makes sense when it's appropriate. But I think there's a difference about the stage you are in your relationship.
Yeah.
If we're building and we're getting to know each other, it depends on what you prefer, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a big texter because I don't like to talk on the phone, if I want to hear your voice, and me if I want to see your face.
Yeah.
FaceTime, everybody knows. I will FaceTime you. I want to see your face. I think there's just something in the conversation to see the reaction, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a big FaceTimer. I think me and my mom were really big FaceTimers. So I FaceTime everybody.
Right.
So.
I've definitely gotten more open to FaceTiming conversations. I think because we always FaceTime.
Yeah, because I'm a FaceTime you.
Yeah.
And there's certain people that I will only have a FaceTime conversation with. Like I can look, Crystal and I will only text once every, it's like a real quick, but we speak almost every day and it's via FaceTime.
Right.
So
even conversation, I think the other day you called me. He was like, I could have texted you, but
I'm gonna call you.
Right. I needed to call you.
What you doing? This was a text. This was a text, but I'm calling you.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Right.
Right. So yeah, I know a lot of people don't like, and for those who don't like FaceTime, like if I'm communicating with somebody, that's okay. I respect that, right? And we can talk on the phone, or we won't talk as much and we'll text, right? It's just a matter of what that preference is. But when you think about communication, I think from like, and I can't say from a male perspective, I'm not a man, but being in situations where, like how you explained, the man is not very talkative. But I don't know, for the situations where they are and they just like this constantly, I think that would get on your nerves too. Because if you have someone who's running,
I don't know.
No, I'm saying if you have someone, how do I say, over communicates?
Yeah.
I dated someone a long time ago, and was he a communicator? Yeah, but he wouldn't shut the hell up. It's like you was communicating something about everything. It's like, bro, are you the female here? I know that's real crazy to say because we want our men to communicate.
No, because I'm laughing because this is the first time in a relationship where I have nothing to say. Like in the beginning, because he communicates and he talks a lot. I'm used to doing the talking. So this time around, I would call Crystal, I don't know what to say. Like, what should I ask? So now I'm sitting here trying to think of questions. And this is like in the very beginning stages. I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. Like, I don't have an opinion because it's like, he is holding the conversation down. And I'm just like, word, wow, that's crazy.
Right. I think in those cases, for me, when we just had nothing to talk about, I was like, well, maybe we're just not meant to be. Like, maybe it's just not there. Or like he'll go and talk to somebody about things that's going on in his life, his family. Okay, maybe he's just comfortable talking to them versus me. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I doing different?
Well, for me, he was very comfortable talking because I've asked, I'm like, are you always this talkative in relationships? He was like, actually, no. He was like, because I like you. Like, he wants to tell me, like, so I woke up at 6:03 a.m. I took a shower. He's going to give me the details.
And I think maybe I'm speaking about something different because I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't mind someone who is comfortable and free enough, especially a guy, because we are so easy doing it, to tell you about their day, right? Like, Raymond will randomly text me and tell me something that's going on at work, right? And that makes me like, oh, great. Like, I'm the person he's communicating with. I guess what I'm talking about is the communication via complaint or via like a stressful situation. Like, you ever had that where a guy's just overly communicating, like there's always an issue?
Because
that's where I'm
stressor in his life.
Huh?
He's stressed in his life, or just
he is a stressful individual.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know what's stressing him.
Right.
But you're stressing out of me.
Right.
Because you're telling me this stuff.
You're causing your own problems and now you're a problem for me. You're oversharing.
Right.
And you're annoying.
And two, what I've learned is with each person, you communicate differently.
Absolutely.
And to your point, what you were saying earlier about FaceTime, I've never had, first of all, every guy I dated, they never had an iPhone.
That's a problem.
So they had a Droid. So let's start there. It was the green bubble.
Droid life right now.
No,
oh, okay. I'm about to say
no. We FaceTime. It was very much Droid green bubbles.
Right.
So now this person has an iPhone. So I never had that everyday face-to-face communication. So it was like, okay. So this
I have to
different.
admit
I
that
like
even
it.
talking to men with Droids, the communication just dwindles away.
Yeah. It's the droid. I don't want to see the green bubble.
I don't want to see
your use of technology, and I don't like a green bubble in my chat.
No, I don't, because it's delayed.
Looking forward to that.
Did you get it? Was it
And then when
delivered?
you like and heart my
It doesn't
stuff,
say delivered. It doesn't say delivered.
it
Did you
tells
get it?
me liked and heart.
Right.
It doesn't just show me the heart.
Yes.
Right.
I don't need to be communicating that much with technology. I want to talk to you.
I want to talk to you.
Baby, I will tell everybody to get an iPhone. And for all the drug users watching, go complain to somebody else about
Right.
it. Go over communicate to somebody else.
Ciao. Mm-hmm.
Yes, communication does play a big part in relationships. How important is it for you to set boundaries? And at what point do you set the boundaries?
That is good. I'm trying to think if there was ever a relationship that I was in. Yes. Early 20s. I didn't know no better. Crystal can attest. I didn't have boundaries. And when I say boundaries as far as allowing a person, I used to call myself Psycho B. Because he made me deranged and he made me a little crazy. He brought, you know what? He brought the crazy out. Okay. So there were no boundaries. It's like, I'm going in. I don't care. Like, even my boyfriend in high school, I went in like I was a different breed. They brought out a side of me that was just like festering, right? And so I had no boundaries. So now my boundary is speaking up or not allowing myself to like compromise on things that I don't want to, right? So it's like
that make you uncomfortable.
That make me uncomfortable. I'm gonna set this boundary, or it's like if I'm uncomfortable with something, speaking up. Like, and I remember we had this one situation, and he was joking, but I was in the middle of working, and I took it like, "Yo, you trying like, hold on, wait a minute, hold up." So I took a minute, was like, no, I didn't like, so the old me would have just let it sweep under the rug, but I set my boundary like, no, I'm going to speak up for myself. Honey, when I said what I had to say, he pulled out a notebook and a pen and was like, so you mean to tell, okay, so what I heard you say was A, okay, then B, in no way was I trying to do C. So are we on the same page? I said, hold on, where are you from? Never have I ever experienced that. So just setting the boundary on my feelings for myself, right? And not just brushing it under the rug so that I don't cause like a rift, or, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever felt like, oh, let me not shake the table, let me not ruffle any feathers, but no. So now my boundary is like, speak up. If there's something that you don't like, speak on it.
I think I have to agree. Me and dating with boundaries, they were non-existent for a very long time. I'm just like, all right, sweep it under the rug, okay. But then at one point, within the last couple of years, I just felt like, the word I want to use is invaded. I just felt like my peace, my mental state, it just was invaded. And I just kept allowing those people to just keep returning.
And I say, don't spin the block, sis.
Don't spin the block.
Okay.
Close the door, lock it, put the deadbolt on it.
And that was hard for me. And then at one point I just was like, I can't, you know what? No, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Yeah. You have to stop contacting me. I'm blocking you for my own sanity. I couldn't do it.
You got to block what you're not strong enough to walk away from.
Ooh. Yeah. Say that again.
Shall we snap for it?
You gotta block. Sometimes you have to block what you're not strong enough to walk away from, because it's you trying to be stronger than your physical self, right? You know, because you have to recognize your weaknesses,
right? And
knowing that this person is able to pull on certain heartstrings. That text message is gonna make my heart flutter a little bit. Yeah, he's gonna say good morning, and I'm gonna, you know, like you have to recognize a demon when the demon comes.
Yes. Oh wait, we were still talking about boundaries.
Boundaries. Are there boundaries in marriage? Because I would never think to set boundaries in a marriage, in my opinion.
I mean, again, it always depends on the individual, but no, I don't know that we have any, if we have any. I don't know. I think, you know, I know his soft spots if I need to, like if and he knows how to push a button or how to avoid pushing a button, I would say. But no, I don't know.
What's a trigger for you in a relationship? Do we have plenty of those?
Yeah, lying is it like if I catch you in a lie, big or small, that's a trigger for me. Because why you
that's any relationship for you though.
Oh yeah, if I catch you in a lie, I'm looking at you as a character flaw.
Yeah.
There's no reason to lie.
Yeah.
Like unless you lying saying I'm on my way to the store, but you're really going to buy me a Range Rover. That's different,
right? Of course,
right? But no, I think a trigger for me, is dishonesty. Yeah, and I think as I've grown, a trigger for me is a man who can't control his or who doesn't know how to manage his emotions. And I think I've only learned that through watching Ray and through watching my husband, because I've seen how it's such a quality or a skill for a man that knows how to regulate and manage his emotions. And I think that's why we don't get into arguments. And just as much as a quality or skill for me learning to control my mouth. And because we are constantly working on those, that look you gave me, take that and put that in that basura. But no, learning how to control my mouth, and him knowing how to control his anger, just knowing like, we ain't gonna do that. I think that keeps us happy in the home. And so, if I was seeing that and that as a character in a guy, that would be a red flag or a trick for me. That you have what they call like I don't know, something like it's like they say vomit in the mouth, something like where you can't control everything that comes out. That's just that's childish to me. That's just a lot. I don't think as adults, just because you get mad, you just need to go
right.
And
you need to have self control.
So exercising self control is a turn on. Just like having a beard. Right? Like like that tall, dark and handsome with a beard?
Yes.
And you got self control?
Baby, you're a winner.
Yeah, it's like that. Like you get older.
Right.
Yeah, I want you to have the outer appearance, but those inner qualities too, those character traits, those are so important. So important.
I don't know if I have. I'm obviously lying, because I think lying definitely plays a part on your trust with that person. I don't know if I have any other like triggers, or I haven't been in a relationship long enough to know my triggers. I'll say that. Definitely pet peeves. You're annoying me. All right. I can't take it anymore. I think I have short patience. Short patience. And I've learned that because I'm a person, I give a lot of fucking chances. I give a lot of chances. I just finally figured out, I was like, you know what? You're done. Crossed off. I can't do it no more. And I just block and move on.
My trigger, and I have gotten better, is if I call you and you don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
That is a trigger for me, just from previous relationships. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, he's probably doing XYZ. Then you find out, oh, you was really doing ABC. You know what I mean? Like, so when I call and you don't answer the phone, then my mind starts to wander. Like, so what were you? So what were you really doing? You said you was there, but were you really there? I'm trying to think what else is a trigger. I don't think it's really a trigger, but if I'm communicating something to you and I feel like you're not interested or paying any attention, like I will shut down, and that's you don't get that side of me anymore. Like, so that I guess that could be a trigger, because it's like, oh, I'm sitting here listening to you, but then when I'm trying to express myself to you, it's like not of importance. Oh no.
So you like shut down and give like the cold shoulder.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. I think that's because you are such a good listener. You are you're a person who's very in tune to when people are speaking. You're like, you remember, you pay attention, like you're very like I don't know, like you attach yourselves to people in their moments of crises or celebrations or something like that. And you're very much, I think that's why you are able to have so many different friend circles and people gravitate towards you. And so I think, and something I probably recognize in both of you Libras is that, yeah, it's a Libra thing maybe. It's like you give so much of yourself without expecting anything back, right? You generally just like, try to show up for people. That in a moment, a simple moment of not being seen, heard, you flip the switch.
Oh yeah.
It usually it causes it hits a switch in you, and I think it just hurts.
Yeah.
And it's not because I've done so much for you and you don't hear me. It's that single moment. Because there's so many moments where you were okay with not being seen. I'm okay for showing up for you.
Right.
I'm okay for being there for you, and this and a third. And the one time,
that's it. You get one.
I don't even really know I need you, but I'm like just like, hey, listen to me because I'm telling you something. Acknowledge me. Yeah. If you're not seen or heard, I see it. Like you're just like
shut down. You get cold. Now I will still show up for you, but when it comes to opening up for myself, no, you don't get that. You'll get the surface,
the bare minimum,
the surface. You will not. There's layers to this. You don't get all the layers. You get unwrapping the wrapper. Like that's it.
Right. You don't get to feel that there.
You don't. No, ma'am.
I know. I think that's something I've seen and known from the both of you.
Yeah. Maybe it's just hard. What about dating in the digital age, as they say?
Now listen,
different opinions over here.
We are on two different ends of the spectrum. I have 3 good girlfriends. Crystal is included in that, where they have met their partner, and when I say partner, husband, where they met them on a dating app, and they were married within like that year, first 15 months. I'm like, okay, God, you gonna do it for me too, baby. Right.
Because you're not gonna show out in my face.
Hello? You pray the impossible. Hello?
Right.
And so for me, I have gone on dating apps, but I also have 2 friends. Crystal is included back in that group. Many years ago, when I think online dating first started, it became a thing. Like especially in our generation, it became a thing, right? Let me say not online dating, like the dating apps, because there was online dating.
Yeah, but it's the little quick apps.
Quick apps, baby. They would tell me horror stories. I said, I'll never forget this one time they sent a picture, and one friend sent a picture in the group chat. Me, I'm very observant. I pay attention to the details.
Absolutely.
I zoomed in, cropped, sent it back. I said, he got a ring on his finger. You got to deal with that. I said, no, I don't like it. I don't want it. No. So I tried to go on a dating app. And the first time when they was telling me about it, it was Plenty of Fish. Went on there. I seen people that I knew. So in my mind, I didn't want people to see me on a dating app that I knew. Like, I'm not desperate. Like, that's how, like, I'm not desperate. Like,
I'm not looking for
y'all. And y'all are showing up in my radius. Let me get off this right now. Then a couple of years ago, I went on a dating app. My other girlfriend was like, oh, get on. So I'm like, fine. Got on. I think I got catfish.
That's what they call it.
That's what the people call it. Because he didn't look like the pictures that I saw. And it was just like a no. Me, I'm an extrovert introvert. So like, I love to be out. I love to meet people. I love the in-person connection and energy. I don't feel like I get that on a dating app. Plus the line of work that I do, I'm online all day. I'm on social media. I'm posting. I don't want to create a profile. I don't want to swipe left. I don't want to swipe right. I don't want to upload pictures. I don't want to do that because I do that.
Put in a bio.
I want to put in a bio. I have to do that on a regular basis. Like I want to meet someone organically because I go off of energy. Baby, if we in the club and that's where I've met, maybe that's been my problem. But anyway, I have met them in the club and I have fallen in love in the club. I've fallen in love. And it's just the energy, it's the chemistry. So I look for that. Now, my most recent encounter, it was a DM. And I don't do DMs because I think it's weird. But the only reason why I answered the DM is because I met him in person at his birthday party. Where, guys? In the club.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So for me, that was okay because I'm familiar. We were already friends on Instagram.
Right.
So it was like, oh, open the DM, cool. And his approach was completely different. But online dating, that to me, that's not for Brand Z. But I've seen success stories, and I'm like, wow.
I've seen success
I've
stories.
seen.
We've seen them.
I've been on a journey.
Front row.
I know.
Here we are.
I know. It's a journey, like you said. You've been a part of the journey when it wasn't so pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
I was running into weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it always depends on the individual. She has always said, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. And I get it. It's draining. Yeah, you got to be in it for the long haul, or, can't be impatient with it, I guess. But I've logged onto apps and logged back off and said, this ain't for me. Mm-hmm. The people are weird, right? But you got to pray and figure out where God wants you planted so your husband can come along that way. Okay. So God, where should my feet be moving?
Ooh, Crystal,
so you toe with my spouse over there.
Listen, you.
That's it. As long as God got you in a space, that's it.
Yeah.
And I understand. If you know what, if I had to do it all again, because at the time I was, I'm gonna say I was still younger.
You're young.
I'm young. No, I was probably early 30s.
Yeah.
If I met Ray at 32,
that's early.
At 33.
Yeah, that's early 30s.
I was on online dating at 30. And I think 30s probably triggered it, right? Because I've been in my 20s and coming out of long-term relationships, and then kind of not dating and purposely, right? Because we've been single on purpose, abstinent, all of that. But I think 30 triggered it, right? 30 was like, what am I doing, right? And 30, 31, I was like, all right, let me get on the little apps, right? Because then I'll automatically, I was a spinster. I felt old, felt like, Miss Mary Matt.
Right, all dressed in black.
Yeah, like I just felt, I'm turning 30 and I don't have I knew then what I do now. My God on today.
But also the difference too is the app you were on, didn't you pay for that? You paid for the subscription, so you get a different quality.
Yes, I was on the free apps at first. So I did Plenty of Fish with all the crazy stuff.
I tried it once again.
All the crazy. If you're still on there, check yourself, because you might be crazy.
Yes.
No, but I was on Plenty of Fish and Coffee Meets Bagel, and running into exes, And then I joined Match, and I had a friend from my old job who kept telling me she met her husband on Match. She kept telling me for years, you should sign up. And I said the same thing. I'm not desperate. I'm not going to pay to meet no man. And I'll never forget, they were running a sale. $74.99 for 3 months. I said, whatever, I'll do it. And I did that out of frustration. I was coming off of either a bad date or a bad encounter, bad interaction with somebody, and I was on the phone with a friend, driving home, and got in the house, and we were still on the phone. I was like, I don't understand what you said. Just kind of frustrated, and signed up for Match and met Raymond 2 weeks later. Off of that.
Wow. So I did it out of frustration too, but I had got catfish, and I didn't pay. I didn't pay for that.
Yeah, no. Catfish is a problem. Catfish is a problem. The audacity of people to put their picture up there for
and the crazy part
and then agree to meet up in person.
So the crazy part is he was not an iPhone user. He was a Droid user.
Okay.
Then he only wanted to text through WhatsApp.
Oh, that's annoying.
Then when we would FaceTime on WhatsApp, he was in the gym. I said, and he would have his mask on in the gym. I'm like, well, can you pull the mask down? He was like, it's still COVID.
Well, we on the phone.
We on the pull it down. So then when I seen him, the lighting hit one way. I said, okay. Then when I see him in person, I said, oh, a two-face. I said, this is not it.
Did you stay for the whole date?
It was never a date.
Oh.
It was he lived in New York, and he was coming to Jersey because he was going to Philly. So he was like, oh, I'll stop in Jersey before I go. It was a quick meetup. I did one of these.
Is that the one that had the suit on in his pictures or something like that?
Yes.
He had on like the hard bottoms with the jeans and the Adidas
like
zip up.
I went on a date with someone I had been talking to. I met online, and he showed up to the date late. But showed up in his cleaning wear. He had on raggedy sweatpants. And when I say raggedy, the sweatpants that have the balls on them and they like got bleach spots on them.
They're worn out,
You wear them in the house only.
Right.
You don't step outside of them. And if you do, you don't go on a date. You stepping outside because you need to go get more products.
Right.
Because you ran out of pine for your floor. So he had the raggedy sweatpants on, like a shirt that had Metallica across it, but it was old. It wasn't like just you could wear a Metallica shirt and it be a part of the outfit. It's a finesse.
Mm-hmm.
And so he showed up. I said, "Oh," and he said, "Oh yeah, I just got finished cleaning my house. I didn't have time to change."
So then,
but you were at home.
You still late.
So you could have changed.
And we were going to dinner and a movie. I mean, we were going to the movies first, then going to dinner afterwards. So we met at the movie theater. I said, "Okay, so I really want to see the movie." You sit over there,
and it's dark in here.
And it's right.
It's dark.
Oh,
and he said, "Oh, so I think we can still make the dinner reservation." I said, "No, it's all right."
I went on a date to
the
movies with this one guy, and he talked the entire movie, just trying to give a backstory, and his breath was so.
Wait, he was talking to you about the movie, or talking about himself?
Because the movie, there's a video game on the movie, so he just kept telling me about it. And I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, you had to. How do you tell somebody their breath is fire?
Oh, I was
how do you tell a date they breath is fire?
No, shut up, sir, please.
No, you got to shake a Tic Tac in your face.
Or pull out like, "Hey, would you like a piece of gum?"
Because I'm getting ready to eat a piece of gum.
Yeah. So how do you feel about dating apps?
I have a love-hate relationship for them. I will say I met pretty decent men on there. I'll say potential, but not the one, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
But as of recently, between last year and this year, I just was like, I hate it. I hate it. It's a repeat every single time. There's nothing new. Y'all not different. You're still playing the same games. Why are you swiping on me? Mine says relationship. Yours says something casual.
Right.
Why you ain't got the simple common sense to know that I don't want nothing casual?
Right.
Get away from me, sir.
Mm-mm.
And then I was seeing people I knew from high school.
That's a problem.
I was like, you know what? This is just not for me. So I told Crystal, I was like, God allowed me to see a vision.
Ooh.
And I'm going to meet this bald-headed man.
Ooh.
Chocolate.
Yes.
Beard.
Tall. Yes.
Late 30s, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know where he's going to be at.
But baby,
I shall see him one day.
Yes. You know what? You just stirred up my faith.
You one of my sisters.
Listen, because I remember 2014, 15, I was like, my him is coming.
Mm-hmm.
My 30th birthday, I went on vacation. I said, I love y'all, but I'm going on a vacation next year. There was no him in sight, but I kept saying, my him is coming, baby. I met my him. I met my bae at the time. And that year later, we went on the vacation, and there's stories and pages and chapters after that. But you just stirred up my faith, because I was talking to God the other day, and I was like, God, show me a sign if my husband is near, because now I'm at the stage in my life where I'm ready to be married, but technically I am still single because there is no ring on this finger. So I am single. Okay, so Lord, if that ain't my husband, send who my husband is. So I said, God, send me a sign, and he showed me a sign. But you just stirred up my faith to get back into that. He's coming. Yeah. My husband is on the way, and I need to flip that switch and be like, he's coming, right? Because I was minding my business when he slid in my DM.
Right.
And I answered. So I need to get back to that place, right? Back into that position where I'm just focusing on what I need to focus on. Because like you don't know where he is, but he's out there. He's making his way towards you.
That's also my sign to also get out the house. Right.
Well then, well, let's talk about it. At least I go outside. I'm outside. But the people don't be approaching me. But it's okay.
She go outside. Where she go?
Here.
For our brother's house.
Right. That's it. And to work.
She be
and to work. We're working on it. We're working.
Okay.
We're getting there.
So we're not doing the apps because God gave you the vision that your man is outside.
Outside where I need to be.
Where you need to be, and he's not in the place of where you usually go.
Right, because he's not a UPS driver.
He's not.
Or the mailman.
Well,
don't be offending the people.
Or a DoorDasher. I'm sorry.
But he's not gonna deliver your stuff.
But
not my food.
Listen, and that goes back to her standards and her boundaries and her all of that stuff.
Oh, you so nasty. Not my food.
Not her food.
Now I swear to God, the next DoorDash you get tall, dark, and handsome.
That's your right.
And you sit there and be like, "Thank you," and close the door. God should struck you down. Walking away from the blessings, child.
People like, since you ain't go outside today, like I told you to go outside, I'm gonna send him to your doorstep.
Them UPS workers fought for 6-figure salaries last year, the year before last.
Yeah, I'm not knocking him, but I just know it's not him.
I'm just saying,
right?
I'm just saying. I hear you.
Because what I will say is, he is not always what you think he's going to be. He doesn't look like what you think he's going to look like, and he's not. It's not going. The relationship or whatever you have in your mind is not going to look like what you think. Because, baby, I said my man is from Harlem.
Okay.
All right, he's really from Wisconsin right now. Go ahead, keep on.
My man got swag. My man is just like that.
Woo, baby.
It is the opposite. He is not from Harlem. He is a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's a gentleman. I've never had a gentleman before. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, he does not live up here.
Which leads us into long distance dating.
Did you ever think that you'd be doing long
nope.
distance?
I do not like
you
long
don't
distance.
like long distance.
I don't like long distance. I've never liked long distance.
Stayed away from that.
Really?
That, but even in my relationships that were not long distance, they always felt long distance because so my first long distance turned into long distance when I went to college. So my high school boyfriend still lived in Jersey. I was in school in Virginia. So I'm seeing you once a month, if that, right? Then when I started dating the guy that made me Psycho B, I had moved back because I graduated. He was still in school. And even though he lived in Harlem, it wasn't like I was seeing you every weekend. It was like once in a whenever.
Right.
So that was that. Then the next guy that I was in I was in a relationship with, he lives in Harlem, but he had a daughter. So he was in school, had a daughter, full-time job. He lives in Harlem. That's not too far from me, but Tuesdays, Thursdays, he was with his daughter every other weekend.
Right.
So it still felt long distance. And here we are. This person really is long distance. And it's like,
God, always.
And so that's why I say it's not going to look like what you think. What you think, because I told God he lives in Harlem. Harlem did not treat me right. So God said, no, he is not there.
Right.
He is not there.
He's in another state.
He's in another state.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it because my love language is quality time. And I feel like any relationship that I was in, I never got that quality time.
Right.
It was always split, or I was never a priority, or the relationship was never a priority. And so I yearn for that. I want to call you right now and be like, babe, I'm just wrapping up this podcast episode. Let's link up. Instead of, okay, so what weekend are you free? Because in this and that.
Right.
Like,
schedule it in.
I don't know what God is doing.
Yeah, I used to not mind long distance, and then I was like, no, I want him breathing down my neck, but I still want my space. But hello,
yeah.
Ain't long distance or nothing.
Clearly
not.
Clearly.
Long distance what? How many bridges I got to cross to get there?
Tolls and gas.
Baby, the long distance when I met Raymond, I was in New York, he was in Jersey. And we made it. We still saw each other like 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And he was working nights.
I remember.
And he would get off of work and be like, okay, what time we going out? and be sleep every dinner we had.
But that's a man who prioritized you, prioritized your relationship, but also that was a man who he knew what he wanted.
Yeah.
So when you're with someone and they know, I want marriage, I want a family, that becomes a priority. They're going to pursue you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Man, child. Yeah. No, I've never been a fan of long distance.
All right.
All right. Let's continue the conversation. We're talking about intimacy.
Yes.
Is that important for you?
Absolutely. And I learned there are new ways to be intimate with someone and not having to be physically intimate with someone. Which makes it even I don't want to say better, a deeper connection.
Mm-hmm.
So the new situation, we're long distance, and all we have is the phone, right? And we've seen each other multiple times, but the way God had been working, he was allowing certain situations to just happen where the opportunity to even take it there, it never panned out, right? So being intimate with this person is, all of last year, like, we had real life situations that I've never experienced with anyone that I was dating for years. Like, I had to have surgery. He had a family member who had their own emergency with their, with their health. We both just had like real life situations, right, that we were going through. And to be there for that person in a way that made that person even more attractive. And usually when I'm dating someone, it's like, you got to break my neck. You got to
pin me backwards.
You got to break my neck, make me be like, damn. Like, I'm like ready to jump your bones. And that jump my bones feeling was not there. And I'm talking to Crystal like, well, is something wrong? Because it wasn't that initial zam.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't. Initial lust.
It wasn't the lust after. So I was not, I don't want to say forced, but because we are long distance, it got me to know his soul, like him as a person, and the way that this man would fill up my gas tank. What? I said, and I get 93. I don't get 87.
Okay, get it correct.
Get it correct. This is 93, okay? And he ain't paying cash. He paying with the card. So you know it's the extra couple cents on it.
I do know.
You do know, right?
But not even the advertised price. You got to look a little closer.
You got to look a little closer. But even just that, or he would get me when I would come visit. You see how we got the different rosé bottles? This man would have multiple. He would have options of rosé for me waiting. And I'm like, oh my God.
He refills your glass.
So
he really did. Like, if this thing was empty, he would take my glass, go downstairs, and refill with the rosé, literally. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm not physical with this man, but something about just his actions. He would send me postcards. He would send me, like, just do little things, or he would just support me in ways that other people that I had been physical with supported me. So I was able to look at this man's spirit, look at this man's soul, and know that he genuinely cares about me and that he genuinely takes care of me. So that's why I said the intimacy part of it is because all we have is the phone. So there got to be some type of connection. And after a while, then I'll be like, damn, this nigga got me lusted. Oh, sorry.
Lusted.
I'm like, oh, he got me mad by
because now he then
tapped into a different part of me. And so, and him and I, we both recognized that we were able to. And this was his first time too. Like, he usually like, look, it be about 2 weeks, and if it ain't going down, it's just, this ain't for you.
Right.
So he, yes. Crystal knows him. And so for him, we're both experiencing this new level of intimacy that we've both never experienced or encountered with anyone else. So it's very much like, how? And for us to even like love each other is like, usually I associate love when I'm with a man is because we have been physical, and now the emotional part is now there, right? Love, lust, whatever. But now it's like, I can love you without having to have done anything physical with you. And I think that's what, you know how some people be like, oh, I don't know if this is my story, I don't know. But there are some people who will, you know, who have waited to have sex before
abstain.
Yes, before they got married or in their relationship. I don't know if that's take it to the head. Okay, were you thirsty? Right. So that is some people's story. I don't know if that's my story, but if in fact that might be my story, right? I understand when God is like, to wait, because looks fade. You get tired of being with this same person. Can you still love and be attracted to this person without all the extra stuff? And this is the first time I've had clarity where I'm not questioning, do I really like him? It's like, it's no sex there. There hadn't been any sex there. So it's like, oh, I really do.
I really like you.
I really like you. Oh, I do love you. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. So intimacy, to me, at this level, in this stage of my life, is very important, especially when there's no physical intimacy. It's like, can we be spiritually intimate? Can we be intimate through our support, through our care for each other? And just the fact that we had experienced so much in 1 year that the average person who's been together for 5 years may not have experienced in that 1 year of dating. It was like, oh wow, so I know what through sickness and in health means. And I haven't even said those vows yet, but I know what that means. And to me, that's intimacy. Like, he was able to see me in a way that I was vulnerable. And he showed up and I was like,
probably invulnerable in ways you hadn't been, right? I think some people associate vulnerability with the giving of oneself. And that is a level of vulnerability. But this way, he hasn't seen you, but he's seen you.
Right. Oh, he seen me, but he ain't seen me, but he seen me. Get out.
He's
sorry.
Seen me, but he ain't seen you.
He seen me.
That's sorry. That's fine. In Jesus' good name.
In his name. Because he turns water into wine.
Amen.
How do you feel about intimacy?
This year, I have I am practicing abstaining from sex until marriage.
Okay.
Because of an incident that happened to me, I thought, this is why we're not going to spin the block. I thought I could have trusted this person with my body, and did. And weeks following, I said, what the f is going on? I said, I trusted you. I thought we were together for some time. You would at least care for me to let me know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
It was just, it took me by surprise. So this year I'm practicing abstaining from sex until marriage, and I will see how this journey goes.
Well, I've been in this game for a while. It's been about 6 years. And it's been okay. But it has had moments once you start talking to someone, right? When you're by yourself, I'm focused, but to encourage you, you can do it. You know, you have so many new things that are being birthed and that you're doing. So your focus and your energy is definitely shifted. But also, if that's your boundary, stand on it. And whoever's supposed to be with you will respect it.
Right.
That's it. Anyway.
I did it for about 4 years.
Did you?
I did.
Until
Serious
I was asking for about 4 years. It was a journey. It's what I needed to do at the time.
Right. Right.
Because I wasn't trying to spin the block. I wasn't trying to add another body to the count.
Yeah.
You know, just like, yeah.
Let's keep my numbers at bare minimum.
Maybe let's keep my numbers where I want them to be.
Right.
Like, I wasn't trying to do that. Yeah. And somebody comes along and you're like, oh, hey. God says, see, I told you to sit down. I was like, oh, damn, that wasn't the one.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I was asking for about 4 years. It was, I'm going to say it was honestly a cakewalk because the options I had of people I was like, I think at the time that I made the decision, I was tired of the baggage and the headache that came with it.
Exactly.
Right? So, like, yeah, everybody wants their itch scratched, but yeah, no, not when you're disrupting my peace. I was tired of the headache that came associated with that. And if I couldn't get, no. It was too much. And I think at a time where God was quickly revealing people to me about who they were. Right. And it just made me feel stupid about continuing to sleep with people when God was like, are you dumb?
Right. Because I done told you once.
Yeah, it was really like, are you paying attention? Right. You can't pretend to be blind when I've already opened your eyes. Stop acting like you can't see. I've given you sight.
God has
Stop acting like you don't feel that discernment that I keep putting in your chest. That's conviction. Stop doing that. So I'm gonna keep every time you start backsliding. Right. I'm gonna keep putting in your face. Yeah. He ain't shit. Yeah. And God didn't say that. But he was like, but he ain't shit.
He said that.
Right. Well, he ended it 2 times over already.
He kept doing it. So I started to literally feel stupid. Like, why am I letting you in my place? Why am I giving you my body? Why am I sitting here listening or believing anything you've said to me? Because nothing you say matters. God has already told me who you are. He's revealed it to me in a space where I don't even need to confront you. Yeah. God already told me what it is, so I don't got to go to you to ask you, is this true? Right. I know you got a baby. I know the real reason why you left your phone in your car. I know the real reason why you showed up at my house at 3 a.m. and not 8 o'clock like we had planned on. Right. I know where you really were. God already showed it to me. And one thing God gives me, because like I said, one of my things is lying. Yeah. God lets me know immediately when you're not being truthful. So I will ask you, is it something you need to tell me? Right. Because God had already said it to me. He may not have told me what it was, but he told me to watch my back. So I started to just feel stupid. Yeah. And that's what led to that, and me just saying, I can't just be out here walking around being dumb. Like, come on.
Yeah. And I definitely, to your point too, my last relationship, I was done. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, we were planning marriage to have kids, and then clearly it did not happen. And it was like, I shut down. I said, I'm not giving myself to anybody else unless you are my husband. Now, I don't know if I'm waiting to get to I don't know what's going to happen, but if you are my husband, that's who I'm giving myself to. Right. And it's okay. But I got to that point. It's all right. Right now. But I got to that point because I was tired of doing things and not getting what I wanted in return. In return, I wanted a husband. In return, I wanted a family. Right. So why am I still busting it for you and you ain't even a real, right? At the end of the day. So my body was just like, no, we shut it down. So then when I met him, it made it, not him, but the new him, it was easier because you don't live here. Right. So I don't know what God was trying to do. No, I know what God was trying to do. He's like, no, you're going to get to know him. Right. Because had he lived up here, I don't know, this story would have been different.
Child, there was no communication at all. And then I got hey, how are you? How are things? And I remember I was driving home. I said, God, is this a sign? Like, because you also see stories of people who broken up for years and they get back together and it's blossoms, flowers, whatever. And then I remember, I think I told you I was on Instagram and literally, who was it? I think it was like Ashanti and Nelly or something. And somebody was in the comment section and was like, this is not your sign.
That. Yeah, I read
this
that.
This is not your sign to split. Do not do it. Don't go back. And I was like, God, but like, talk to me. And I thought God was like, yeah, you're good. Like, this will be it. Child, that was the devil in disguise.
Baby, I done been there because my last.
Oh, that was the devil. That was scary.
My last relationship, I spun the block. I did it 3 times. I did. It was 3 times.
Okay.
Don't spin the block, sis. And that's why I don't go to Harlem no more, because those blocks, I need to go on a street, I need to go on a road, I need to go on a court, something that ends in a lane, something that ends in that.
You don't need to be on the block.
I don't need to be on the block. I spun that block 3 times, and God was like, "You didn't learn yet."
Right.
We gonna learn yet, because in my mind, I envisioned my story to be: we're together. Oh, say if it was a breakup. Oh, we broke up, but we're gonna get back together. God's gonna pull us back together, and it's gonna be my pray the impossible. And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, like you guys got back together like this." That's what I had in my head. But God said, not that city, not that borough, not that state. But anyway, yes. So yeah, what was the next question?
Healthy and toxic relationships.
Yeah. I don't think I knew what a healthy relationship was until I met my husband. I don't even think I thought about healthy relationships. I think I was just in the midst, and honestly, at a point in my life, I'm not gonna say I absolutely contributed to some of the toxicness in the relationship, and not in the way that they were, right? I wasn't like doing what they were doing, but a friend told me one time, "You not a victim, you're a participant, because you keep sitting there and letting this fool play you for a fool." Right? That man has showed you who he was several times. Is it going to take for him to have a baby? Maybe, yes. But it's going to take for him to like do something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think toxic relationships are relationships that they don't feed you or fuel you in any kind of way. They don't stretch you. They don't make you grow. You're not changing or growing, right? And I think sometimes you have to recognize, like, I need to change. I need to grow, right? You can't. One thing my mom told me is like, it ain't always about you, right? So not walking into a relationship. Yes, I know you're the package,
right?
But you ain't all that needs to be, right? Sometimes there's some growing in there and for you to do. And so I don't think I even recognized that there was healthiness until I met Raymond. And I was like, damn, okay, this is weird around here. Where I was ready for an argument, he was like, nah, we're not going to do that.
I'm not going to entertain you.
I'm not going to entertain you. I was like, entertain me.
Right.
I got something to say. And he was like, how about you calm down first, right? I was like, oh, this is what healthy relationship is. We talk. You want to talk to me? Oh, okay. Now, if you want to talk 3 days later, I want to talk in a moment. We can work that out. But yeah, I don't think I knew what that was. All I knew was toxic. That's all I was attracted to. That's all that was attracted to me. And I think I got tired of being sick and tired. And I didn't know what was coming, but I just knew I couldn't go back to where I was. So I just had to, I guess in that space, I was trusting God, because I just knew I could not go backwards. And I didn't even know if the forward meant for me a husband, a family, a kids. I don't even know if that was the prayer. The prayer for me was companionship. I think I was lacking, like, at a time where I was lonely. Everybody had a boo or a bae. Everybody had somebody that was texting, and my phone was as dry as my glass to know what was in it. Dry.
But
and
you
I had to
know
get used to that. I had to be okay with it.
Yeah.
But even then, what just came to my mind is, like, even though the core group had their bae and their boo, you are now married with a husband. And we are no longer with those bae and those boos. So what does he say? The first shall be last and the last shall be first. So you couldn't see it back then because you wanted a boo or a bae. And God said, I got a husband for you.
I wanted someone to spend time with. I want to go to the movies too.
You wanted a situationship.
If I wasn't at happy hour with my friends, I was in the house. Sipping wine, watching Scandal or something. Like, I don't know what I was doing, but I was like reading books or writing or something, like being a nerd, but I wasn't outside, and I wanted to be like booed up, right? And then I grew up and it was like, I don't want to be booed up necessarily. I want a companion. I want someone that God has genuinely designed for me.
He knew your heart desire that you weren't verbally saying.
Yeah. I wrote it and I said it at a point, but I was like, just knowing, like, okay, God, I clearly when I pick them, they ain't right. So
Ain't
I'm
right.
gonna stop picking. I ain't gonna even pick them no more.
You always
Now
pick the
I was
same
going
type.
on dates. I was gonna do no online dating because I felt the same thing. Like I needed to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't outside with my friends. I was in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was with my mom or something like that. So I was like, okay, let me at least do online dating and get out there. That was all terrible. But then, you know, end up being great. But you know,
or self-discovery in a relationship. I think self-discovery in a relationship. I'll say for myself, I lose myself. I'm like in wifey mode. Are you okay? What do you need? Let me cook you dinner. Let me make you a meal.
Yes, I have definitely.
I'm all that and then some.
I have definitely lost myself. My last relationship, he was in school, he was a dad, he was working, and I had so much time on my hands. I was just working. So I was so my mom was like, I want to be a wife. I want to be, you know, a mom. Like that was it. Like
I want you to marry me.
Nothing. Hello, I don't care about helping people. Like helping people was not even on my bingo. What do people say on my bingo card?
Right.
But in this now relationship, I knew who I was already getting into it. And although my heart desire hadn't changed, I was already founded and rooted and grounded in I know who Brandy is. So I didn't lose myself in this situation where now my focus has now, our dynamic has shifted. And now I see that it's in a good way because now he's on his self-discovery road, right? I've already done that. But my business is thriving and I'm focusing on that and letting God work out whatever he needs to work out. So that, because I'm a wife already.
Okay.
Say it again. Hello, I'm a wife already. So my husband needs to know he's a husband.
Yes.
So until then, I'm focusing on what I need to focus on, my purpose. But what I love is I didn't lose myself because I have lost myself in every relationship prior to that. And now as you ask that question or pose that question, it's like, it's a real thing because if you're only focused on marriage and kids and I don't want to be single anymore, but what's your purpose in life? Like, who are you outside of a wife? Who are you outside of a mother? Who are you outside of this relationship? And I'm so thankful that I had my self-discovery road. I had my healing journey. I had my journey of finding myself. And so now I'm in this place of, I know who I am.
Yeah, so I'm just starting that journey because this year I have committed myself to abstaining from sex and from marriage. So I have to discover who I am on this journey now that I'm just like, bye, you know what I mean? Bye-bye to sex. And just, I think, developing that intimate relationship with myself. Because when I meet that man,
the bald guy with the beard, tall, dark, handsome.
Very much so. I want to know who I am so that when he asks me, this is the simple questions of getting to know me, I know I'm confident in my answer.
Yes. And at your age, I was not, and I was laughing with Crystal the other, matter of fact, it was yesterday. I said, Crystal, Jordan is so mature. I said, I don't remember being mature at her age. Like, I was like, but then we're living in a different time, right? But back then at 20, however old, in my late 20s, even then I was like, I want to get married. I'm pushing 30. I'm getting in this space where I didn't know who Brandy was.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even think I even thought to find who she was. Because I was so focused on like, God, I'm tired of being single. Like, I want to be in a relationship. I want to be in a relationship because I'm a relationship person.
Me too.
I love love. Like, I love to be in love. I love that feeling. And so at your age, I'm proud of you that you're on this journey of like, who am I? Like, who am I going to be this time next year? Like, getting comfortable with yourself, learning yourself. And I tweeted the other day, like, I'm in this space. I'm almost 40. And I love the fact that now I'm intentional about paying attention to what are my dislikes?
Yes.
What are my likes? oh, you handle situations like that. Like, I'm learning who I am all over again as I'm approaching 40 years old. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Do you think your self-discovery, I don't know how I want to word it, has it ended relationships for you?
It hasn't ended relationships. It caused misunderstanding. And in my most recent relationship that I was in, I am a completely different type of woman that he is used to dealing with. I know who I am. I'm a woman of God. I'm a praying woman. He hasn't called me that in a while, but he'd be like, you such a holy roller. And I'm like, to me, a holy roller is a bad thing. I'm like,
right.
I'm lit. Like, what you mean a holy roller? Like, I am what? He's like, no, like you pray, you do this, da, da, da. But like, knowing that I know who I am and I walk in my purpose, like he wasn't used to a woman of that caliber.
That held her own in a way.
Exactly. Or he's used to like a woman who makes X amount of dollars, who's successful at work, but on the flip side, did not treat him well, right? And here I am, more caring, more loving, more nurturing. I know who I am. I'm a praying woman. And so certain things, I just carried myself in a different way. And it was just like a misunderstanding. It didn't end things, but the guy that I was with before him, we had a spiritual connection. So when him and I were together, I was on the journey of becoming.
Right.
He, the new guy, now met me at who I am. So those are two different Brandies.
Yeah.
But the one prior to him, because we had that spiritual connection, he understood like who I am or who I was getting ready to become. Whereas who I'm growing into. Whereas him, the new guy, he's now more on his spiritual journey now. So he's able to recognize and see like, oh, wow. As opposed to like, oh, she a holy roller. Nah, like there's levels to this. So it didn't end things. It was the misunderstanding of like, I don't know what to do with you. And he would say that like, I don't know what to do with you. Like 1 + 1 = 2. But for some reason, I said, but also 2 × 1 is 2. We could still get to 2 that way too. But what he was doing with other women or how he carried it, like he was trying to do that. And those tools didn't apply here.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I think I've dealt with men who have dismissed my emotions. I've had a man tell me, I don't know what to do because you're too emotional right now. And I'm crying and I'm upset. And what I need you to do is nurture me right now.
Yeah.
And you're not going to. It's like, well, I never dealt with an emotional woman like this before. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's a real thing.
And it breaks you down as a woman. It's like, you are not intimately emotional with me. How can I?
Yeah. And that's something I pray for, emotional connection. And so him, the new guy, he is not an emotional man. So if I come to him, and it's very rare that I come to him with an emotional situation, he's trying to solve the problem. I don't want you to solve the problem. I want you to listen. I want you to be the shoulder that I cry on. You know what I mean? I want you to be there for me emotionally or spiritually, not logically, because this ain't a logical situation. You can't solve this. So I think a lot, but most men are not emotional men, so they're always thinking logical. But there are just some men who are not in tune, right, with their spirituality or with their emotions to understand that, okay, she just needs me to listen. She just needs me to support and be there.
I ask God for a man that wears his emotions on his sleeve, honey.
Ooh, well, you better be ready what you pray for, child.
I know.
Child.
You speak it out loud.
Speak it out loud. Look, it's recorded.
Okay.
Listen,
documented.
It's documented.
It's not going nowhere.
It's not. Yeah. I can't wait to meet him. I don't know who he is.
Do you believe in love languages?
Yes.
What are yours?
My love, how I like to receive.
How you like to receive love.
Quality time. That is like number one. quality time. My love language that I show to other people is also kind of like quality time, but more so words of affirmation. I'm going to uplift you.
That's my love language.
Is it? Yeah, I'm
I
going to
gotta
uplift.
hear it.
Yes. I also too, like, I love to hear I love you, right?
Yeah.
Like, because that's just who I am. But I'm learning that some people will not say I love you, but they will show you
right
that they love you, and that's their love language. Like, that's how they
right
give. So I had to learn, like, okay, that means I love you.
right.
But I still want to hear it.
I still gotta hear it.
I still gotta
Literally,
hear it. Reassure me, like, do you love me?
I think on Wednesday at work, I dressed differently. So every day I usually just casual leggings, shoes. So I put on a blue dress, nice flowy dress with some sandals, and I had my hair curly.
Oh yeah, it was nice Wednesday too.
Yes, I had my hair curly like this, and I went into one of my coworkers was talking to a provider, so I had just stuck my head in, and the provider was like, "You're so beautiful today. You look beautiful." And my coworker was like, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, "So say it." He said, "I did."
Right, I did.
I did. I said, "Okay."
Right.
Let me walk away.
Right, received. Okay.
All right. But I have to hear you say it.
Yeah.
My last relationship, his thing was, I don't do compliments.
Meaning he doesn't give compliments.
He don't give compliments. And I know there were a few occasions where I was like, "How do I look?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Beautiful?"
Right. Like,
he's like, "Yeah, I was gonna say." I was like, "Well, then say it then."
Right. Oh no.
No. All I got was, "Oh, look nice." I'm like,
this ain't gonna work. Whereas him, he will compliment me, like, we'll be on FaceTime and he'll be working, and then he'll notice it, like, "Your hair looks so pretty like that. Like, I like your hair like that." And it's just like, he will compliment me.
Yeah.
I need to work on giving him more compliments. Because usually I'm a silly person, so I'm like, "Ooh, you looking like..."
Right.
But because we're from two different areas and two different, ultimately, it's like culture. Like, my joking style, he don't get. And then I gotta explain the jokes and stuff. I'm like, "Ooh, Zaddy, you look good." Like, if I joke like that, he's like, "So you think I look? So does that mean I look nice?" I'm like,
right.
Whereas if I was dating someone from up this way, he would already know that that was a compliment.
Right.
So, like you, he's like, "So why don't you just say that I look nice?" And I'm like, "I did. Like, I told you that I am. Like, I did something silly." But yeah, so I need to work on saying compliments, but definitely I like to receive quality time, words of affirmation.
Yes. I think my new one, since I crave quality time. I think I like that one. I love spending time. I think since I've started hanging out with all you guys, I'm like, "Oh, this is nice."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, this is different."
Yeah. You got a glow. You got a glow.
This is nice. I love the sisterhood you guys have. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. So when the vacation came around, Chris was like, "No, you're with me. You're going with us." I said, "Okay,
right." Like,
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Right.
But as for like giving compliments, I give them. But I have the mentality like, all right, I'm not gonna sit here and stroke your ego.
Right. That too. Hello.
I dated a guy who every day, "How do I look? Do I look good? I look good. This color look good on me, don't it? Yellow is my color." Yeah. He's like, "You don't compliment me. You're complimenting yourself."
Right. So
you're putting words in my mouth.
Hello.
I'm not gonna sit here and stroke your ego on top of you already doing it.
Yeah, not doing it.
I refuse.
I'm with you.
I refuse.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. It is just hard.
It is hard. Dating is hard. Dating is ghetto. It is, especially now. What do they say? There's piss in the pool and a dating pool. It's really ghetto. And so when you find someone that you think is the person, like, you want to hold on to that, right? But it's also hard when now therapy is a thing, right? Where before it wasn't. So now people are going to therapy, but then you still have people who don't want to go to therapy and don't want to do the work. And I think that's what makes dating even hard, because it's people who have so much baggage from years of heartbreak, relationship, and it's like this never ending cycle, and it's like we're getting these people that are not of quality because you're not putting in the work to heal.
Yes. When we ended the last relationship I had, when it ended, he had made a comment because I had yet to meet his family, but he always made statements like, "Yeah, well, we'll go down south and meet them." And
Okay.
just false hopes, whatever. We'll touch on that too.
Right.
But he had made a statement of like, "Oh, I don't just like bringing any girl around my family." I was like, "Well, who the f is any girl?"
Right.
I just put time into this relationship, and I'm just any girl.
Yeah.
You just let me know
right
what you think of me and where I stand and what priority I am to you. I mean nothing to you if I'm just any girl.
Yeah.
That shit cut so deep. It cut so deep. And I was just like, I remember calling my sister. I was like, he just said I was any girl. And I could not stop saying it. I was like,
yeah, because that's
I let you meet my family. What makes you think your family is more important or has,
right?
You know what I mean? A different level of importance. That took a lot for me to do. Bring you around my family, intimate people, nieces and nephews who my niece looks at me and wants to repeat things that I do. Don't think that this is just a fling.
Yeah, because I'm not looking at it like that.
I'm not looking at it like that. I literally brought up marriage. I brought up kids. This is not a fling to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm just any girl.
Oh yeah, child.
That one ruffled the feathers. It ruffled my feathers.
Shaking the table, honey. Yeah.
It was just like, it was endless false hope. Just endless.
Yeah. I think now that you use that word, the phrase false hope, my last relationship, it was a lot of false hope. It was a lot of planning. It was a lot of like selling me this dream that ultimately you self-sabotage. And here I was holding on to this dream. Oh, we're going to get married. We're going to have kids. We're going to blah, 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 blah. And you sold me this dream. And then for it to just end in such a way where it's just like, I was forced to walk in my purpose. Like God was showing me, you listen. And I wrote a book called My Way or God's Will, the choice is yours. God kept allowing me to do things my way. And he's like, you spun the block once. You spun the block twice. 3 times. Okay, daughter, that's it.
Come on. Now I'm going to show you.
Now I'm going to show you.
Now I'm going to really sit you down.
Now I'm going to sit you down. And now you got to, it's me and you.
Yeah.
And now, 6 years later, going on 6 years with my company, I've accomplished so much, not only personally, but just in my purpose and in my business. In 6 years, I've accomplished so much.
Yeah.
He couldn't come with me on this journey.
Right.
It was a distraction because I wasn't thinking of the bigger picture. I was thinking of me and my little family I'm about to create.
Right.
God is like, nah, I need you. You asked to be you, so I'm using you on a grander scale.
I'm taking you places.
I'm taking you places, and you wanted to stay in Harlem.
Harlem.
You wanted to stay in
Harlem again.
Okay, I wanted to be in Harlem, and God is like, I'm taking you to the DMV. I'm taking you so many other places.
Right.
And you just want to stay in this little area, girl. Bye.
Right.
Girl, bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's false hope is the real thing.
Yeah, God's had me down this year.
I love that for you, though.
Loud, like face to face. I said, "Oh, I hear you."
Yeah,
I hear you now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sit my ass down.
Sit down.
You know, God, I'm gonna take it even further. I'm abstaining from sex until marriage.
Yeah, listen, yeah. It's been 6 years with a slip up with once. I ain't gonna say that. It ain't
Did he
been.
forgive you though?
He forgave me.
That's all that matters.
And then that's when I said, God, I understand what you mean by I was covered by the blood of Jesus. I understand when you said the blood covers my sins.
Amen.
Reset. Okay, 6 years with a slip up. But I have so much clarity, and I don't have that soul tie. I don't have that lustful, like the lust with this now situation. I keep going between situation and relationship because that's what it is right now. It's a situation.
Until he put a title on it.
Until there's a title, right? A ring, hello, something.
I think Taraji P. Henson even said that when she was dating somebody. They was like, "You don't post your man. Is there a ring on my finger?
Is there a ring on my finger?" No, and that's where I am, right? Mm-hmm. Like I know my worth. I know my value. I know what I bring. I bring the table, I bring the chairs, I bring the placemat, the set. Right. I bring a lot.
I know what quality I bring
to the table, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I'm not, to your point, like I'm not just giving myself away just to give myself, like that's going to be a distraction. Now it's going to be the lust. It's going to be all this extra stuff.
I'm not settling
anymore. I'm not doing it. Yeah. I'm not doing it. So yeah, and then I know people like my friends be like, girl, you didn't know, because when I thought I was going to do it, God was like, oh, here come Mother Nature. Oh no, you about to have a surgery. Oh no, he's about to go away for 3 months. It was like, I can't make none of this up. It was like every time it
was roadblocks.
He said, nope, caution, do not enter. Don't enter. Don't go there. No.
It's closed. Chapter closed. I love when the chapter ends.
Baby, he said, no, you ain't, we ain't, getting up in that thing. So I'm at peace. I'm at peace. Even though, like I said earlier, I spoke to God, show me a sign that my husband is there, because I am ready. Like, I am 39 years old. I'm young, 39 years young. Mm-hmm. But as I close out my 30s and I enter into this new decade, this new season, I'm looking forward to building and creating my own family.
Yeah.
Like, I've been single longer than I've ever been in relationships. And that's combining all, if I count all my serious relationships and put the years together, I've still been single longer than I've ever been in relationships. So I'm like, God, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Now. Like,
and like you said, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
Very mature minded, but I also have my siblings. I look at them, even Jamel, Keji, their family, Crystal, Raymond, their family, Jonathan and Rakia, their family.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and you're the baby out of everybody.
I'm the baby.
Yeah. You want your family.
I want my family.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have to discover myself first and be on this journey by myself and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because solitude is important.
Solitude is important, and solitude is not a lot of people know how to be by themselves.
They don't.
And I think it's important that when you are able to be by yourself and you work on yourself, and then when you come to that other person, right? Because I heard you don't complete each other, you complement each other.
Yes.
So when you're whole and he's whole, it's two whole people coming together. Not, of course, we will forever have something. We're always going to be on a healing journey, but wholeness, right? You're not like broken.
Yes.
He's not broken. And you two can get together and create this beautiful story that you didn't see your parents have, that you didn't see your siblings. Like, your story is going to be completely different. And that's how I view it for myself too, because all of my friends are in a relationship. All of my close friends from high school have children. I am like one. Like, at this group of friends, me and another girlfriend, we're the only two that don't have kids. But I'm like, all right, God, what you say? The last shall be first.
Okay.
Hello. I'm just waiting to be first.
And how do you feel about like future planning? So recently, I'll say this regarding future planning, I have learned to live in the moment and not think so much about the future planning. Because then it takes me away from the moment.
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't happen, then I'm like, pay.
Right, because we've created this life in our minds,
Mm-hmm.
expecting like this is gonna happen by this age, by this month, by this year.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And when it doesn't, it's like, oh God, you're devastated. But who said that was gonna happen then? We
Right.
did.
Right.
So it's funny that you mentioned that because I don't know if it was the beginning of April. I had an event in the DMV area, came back,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, usually I'm like, okay, what's the next thing? Like, I just completed that event. What's next? And then I said, God, what's now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, help me to focus on what is now. Because I'm always like, just the work, the line of work that I do is always like, okay, I got this event, I got this, I got this. What is now?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just focusing on what's now. What's now? Exercising my faith, believing God,
Right.
stirring back up my faith,
Mm-hmm.
and getting back into that posture and that position. Like, my husband is coming.
Right. Okay.
I did it before. I could do it again. My husband, I used to say my him is coming. My husband is coming. And I have to
Right.
get back to that power and that strength to now verbalize it and to say it. So that's what's now. That's what the present is. Because I know the future. I said that this year my word is expectation. So I'm expecting that it's already done.
Yeah.
Right? I created a prayer board and the prayer board said it's done. So because it's already done, I don't need to focus on what's already done. Like, I already have the marriage, I already have the family.
Right.
We're gonna focus on right now because it's there. But what am I doing now?
And like the saying always goes, we don't know what the future beholds.
Because if you would have asked me 6 years ago,
Right.
6 years ago, I would have been married with my kid.
Okay.
Hello, because this was no. This was not my plan, my vision.
2 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, I'm in a committed relationship, and that's it. This is final. It's my last one.
Right. Like, this is it. Last year, I was like, oh, I'm going to be married this year. Now, listen, it is a possibility.
Listen, we did our vision board party.
Hello.
Okay.
We sure did the vision board party. Okay. And on there, I said, wife, so what's this? Only May. There's still 7 months left of this year. So anything is possible. Right. But I thought probably like the top of the year. I thought I would have been like at least engaged. Right. Right. But whatever.
I told God that I said, I'll take engaged to be married. That's all I need. Engaged to be married. Let's just be on the same journey.
On the same journey.
On the same path.
Yes.
Vision.
That's it.
All that.
But yeah, I think future planning is important just so that you can have a plan of where you would like to go, but also be flexible in the planning. So I'm learning not to say, okay, God, by the end of this year, I want this to happen. God, I would like this to happen. If it's your will, right? Like changing my language, right? But there are some things that if I put in the work, I have seen accomplished. Like I said, I want to have an event that I can make happen. But as far as like with the husband and the family and things like that,
you can't force it.
I can't force that.
Yeah,
I can't force that. I can't. So listen. When people ask, I am single because ain't no ring on this finger.
Asking you shall receive.
Asking you shall receive.
You don't know what's gonna come.
I don't know what's gonna come, but I need to be ready, and I'm gonna stay ready.
We getting ready.
We getting ready.
We getting ready.
Get ready.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I enjoyed this conversation.
And we will have future conversations.
Yes. Continue to invite me back. I will be here.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's the end of the episode.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.